It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas and we have wonderful guests. And my wonderful guest today is Gail Bohnet from the MoreMito marketing department, and he happens to have quite an extensive background in marketing, and MoreMito is something we're very excited about marketing, and there's a whole new area that's opening up for about mitochondria. So welcome, Dale.
Hello, thank you for having me, Gail. Great to be here.
I'm so glad we're able to come. I always like your input. And I just discovered recently, as I was looking up about mitochondria, the important role it plays in our overall metabolic system in our body.
Yeah, it is truly the engine of the body. Mitochondria, there's millions and millions of them in each cell. We have every cell except red blood cells have mitochondria. They are the fuel source, the furnace of the individual cells. And they run basically the metabolism of our bodies. And everything is impacted by mitochondria. So, as you said, it's important, and we are learning more and more and more about it all the time.
Now, we know that they start to decline with age, as does everything, it seems. But anyway, there are ways of feeding your mitochondria, and that's what we do with MoreMito. Isn't that correct?
That is true, and in fact, not just feed it. There's two ways to affect the mitochondria. There are products that affect what's left. It's not uncommon that you would have about half of the mitochondria you were born with when you're in your 50s, and maybe down to as low as 10% in your 60s and 70s and 80s. Look, mitochondria is dying off, as you mentioned, throughout our lives. And it's not an accident that when we're in our 50s, our hair starts to change. Our hearing starts to go, our eyesight, we find we need glasses. Why is that happening? Well, if I turn down the power in your house, if you were in a brownout in California and they cut the electric power to your house by 50%, your lights would dim, your TV would not work, your microwave wouldn't work. There's no power. So mitochondria, as it starts to decline, and the environment is a killer of mitochondria. Many things. One of the biggest serial killers of mitochondria is Roundup. There's major lawsuits going on right now. Well, this time of year, Roundup's being put on the yards, if not on our yards, on the yards of the people or businesses around us. We can be walking in to see a doctor and get wind blowing, blowing around the Roundup and killing our mitochondria. So
I remember about a decade ago, Dale, I was giving a presentation and I was quite honestly bad-mouthing Roundup because of the glyphosate levels and stuff. And I had somebody get up and they were arguing with me. They had used it every year and they were just fine and blah, blah, blah. But just because you're feeling fine at the moment doesn't mean it's not accumulating in your body and it's going to come back.
That's right. You don't know how you're feeling if you've down to 20% of your mitochondria. And so one way, you're so right. One way is to affect what's left. Well, that's great. I want to tune up what's left. How about we take a different approach? That's the MoreMito approach. Let's increase the mitochondria in your body back to the age of when you were young. Let's increase what's there. And that's why we have so many phenomenal testimonials on our website of people having major changes in their vision. We've got 4 people getting shots in their eyes for retinopathy that don't get shots anymore. That's a pretty major deal. When the doctor for Archbishop Vince McCall says, you don't need these shots anymore. Your eyes have improved. That's a big, big deal. And so we bring the mitochondria back, we increase it, and astounding things happen. And everything from listen, what it does is it allows the body to run and work the way it's supposed to, the way it did before life and the environment started tearing your body down. And we've led this change. We've got a brilliant research scientist 5 years ago delved strictly into mitochondria and realized that if you find a way to increase mitochondria, a number of different things for each person changes. Why? Because we don't attack anything. We don't focus on a thing. We increase the mitochondria and a number of different things in the body correct themselves. So it's pretty major.
What causes the mitochondria to increase? How does that occur?
Well, it occurs with the proper mix of ingredients. We've got a product called Restore that's got 44 ingredients. And there's 2 parts to this. It's not just having ingredients. That's the first part. Which ingredients are in there and why are they in there and what does each ingredient do? But Dr. Bevan explains it in a great way. He says, look, if you're taking a handful of vitamins, very common that a third of them are a complete waste because they're overpowered and canceled out by other things in that handful of vitamins. Things have to be in the proper balance so they work synergistically instead of canceling each other out. That's the first part. 44 ingredients properly balanced. But the most important part is unique to us, created by Dr. Bevan, and that's the delivery system. It doesn't matter what's in something if your body can't use it. What's the point of taking a vitamin C tablet? The body's able to utilize 10 or 20% of it, the rest gets expelled. Well, this is different. We have a technology called XDS that allows our ingredients not just to get through your cell walls, but deeper through the walls of your mitochondria and increase the mitochondria. That's the secret. Without XDS, this wouldn't happen. And so XDS allows these 44 ingredients to impact the body in a very unique way.
Well, that's fantastic. So that technology helps to get the ingredients into the cells so that it can feed the mitochondria within the cell. Is that correct? Okay. That's pretty amazing. Well, one of the other things that I found fascinating that I just run across was this book called Brain Energy. Let me bring that up because what they're talking about mitochondria, and they're talking about a lot of the mental disorders out there are metabolic disorder in the brain and related directly to mitochondria. So let me bring that up real quick and I can share that with people.
While you're bringing that up, let me point out that that's exactly right. And it just, we're so glad the rest of the medical community is starting to catch up to what Dr. Bevan has done. Because it makes sense. Everything in your body is fueled by the mitochondria. Increase the mitochondria. Well, that includes in a major way things going on in the brain. Mitochondria is in every organ of your body, but it's highly focused in your heart, in your eyes, and in your brain. We've got testimonials, and it'll be mentioned in this book as well. Not our testimonials, but things that can happen with moods and with the way people feel about themselves, with their energy levels. We've got people with PTSD that have had major life changes. We've got people, autistic kids, having a big reaction because the brain is full of mitochondria. And when we can increase and empower that mitochondria, there's major changes in the brain as well. I see the book is up. Go ahead. Go ahead, Gail.
Well, actually, this is an article. I was just going to pay a little bitty part of this. The role of mitochondria in mental illness is a whole new area of study. And then this isn't actually the book, but this is the guy who wrote the book, Dr. Palmer. So I'll just
or how to impact them. So how do you like to connect the dots? And that could be for physicians too, right? Because how many like everyday physicians, unless you deal with inborn genetic mitochondrial disorders, how many physicians think about mitochondria every day? So how do you help people connect the dots between psychiatric symptoms, brain energy production, and mitochondria at the core?
Most people have heard that or were taught that mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cell. And so they create energy. And that is really the play on words for brain energy. And there is no doubt they serve that role and they perform that function. They take food and oxygen and turn it into or transform it into ATP, the energy molecule of the cell. But in fact, research over the last 20 years has completely shattered that simplistic definition of mitochondria. And that is critically important to the brain energy theory. It's not simply energy. Mitochondria play a role in directing and allocating resources for cells. And that means that they are taking food, and some of it, most of it, is getting turned into ATP, but some of it is getting turned into serotonin. Some of it's getting turned into dopamine. Some of it's getting turned into cortisol. And in fact, mitochondria play a critical role in regulating all of those molecules that I just mentioned. And anybody familiar with the mental health field will know, wait, neurotransmitters and hormones, we know that those can become dysregulated or imbalanced in people with mental illness. Mitochondria are a way to understand that dysregulation or those imbalances.
That's a whole new area of study that I think is very relevant, and which means this may even broaden the scope of people that this product can actually help. And I think we see that already with some of the testimonials. Wouldn't you agree?
I absolutely agree. And really it lends credence as to why the testimonials exist that we've got. We're having an impact on a number of issues, but also brain and mood and thought process. We've got a lady blown up, as she says it, blown up in Iraq. Just a tremendous, unusual experience. Her jaw was laying on her chest as she's firing back and protecting the other people in the Humvee. And it took her down for many, many years. And now she's started a real estate company during COVID and is highly successful for the first time in 15 years. As she said, her memory's back. She can think clearly and she feels renewed. Well, that's pretty powerful.
That is powerful, and that is, I think that's proof of the mitochondria's effect on our brain. And this is a book I could refer you to. You can look that up, brainenergy.com. Very interesting researcher from Harvard, and is really looking into the how the metabolism in the brain, if it's affecting the neurotransmitters, our mitochondria, then obviously it's impacting our mental health. The two are, you can't separate the two. They're directly involved in our overall mental health and moods and so on and so forth. So there's a great reference for you to look into this further. But again, emphasizing how important mitochondria really, really are. So Dr. Bevan started research on the mitochondria quite a few years ago. Isn't that correct, Dale?
That is correct. In fact, I've got a short clip. You might like to hear what Dr. Bevan says about what we've created and the power of the mitochondria. Let me go ahead and play that. Make sure you can hear it.
Is it playing?
It is playing.
I'm not hearing anything myself, but maybe
Well, shoot.
maybe
then I
people
will-
are hearing it. I don't know. Sometimes I can't hear it. Let me ask, is anybody out there? Can you hear the clip? I don't know if anybody will answer me.
I have now turned it off on the chance since we need people to hear it. Well, I don't know how to get it played for you.
Yeah. Oh, she didn't hear it. Try it one more time, and then if that doesn't work, if you can send it, if you can email it to me, I might be able to play it. Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe I can't.
I wonder if there's a way for me to play it inside. It should be picking up everything I do, but I will play it again real quick. I'll tell you when it starts to play.
Okay.
It's playing now. Do you hear it?
I don't hear it. I don't know if anybody else hears it. Bella says no.
Okay.
So I don't know why we're not hearing it. That's
Well, then I
unfortunate.
will try to email it to you. We'll see if I can't get it to you. In the meantime, go ahead on something else.
Is it an MP3 or an MP4? I think that could be the issue with.
It's an MP3. It should play.
I think I have to convert it to an MP4 for it to play correctly. Anyway, I guess that's, we might not be able to play that this time, maybe another time. I can bring up some more information about the mitochondria being explained in this, what's going on here with the, this is why this is so important, okay?
Check your email.
Okay. Hold on.
And again, while you're looking for that, let me share some of the testimonials that are on MoreMito.com. And of course, Gail will want them to go to your site so they can get deeper in and hear our library of testimonials. But some of the things you've heard me say, that many things can happen for one person because we're not addressing an issue or a thing. We're just increasing the mitochondria. It's not what our stuff does. It's what your body does with our stuff. Best way to say it. So example, we've got an 82-year-old gentleman, Ron Long, who stops getting shots in his eyes, retinal, and off that disease of diabetes, and off an issue. Well, unexpectedly, his right arm had been dead to him for 5 years after a stroke. He had to learn how to write left-handed so he could sign papers, sign contracts. His right arm is now working. He's 82, and he's throwing 60-pound bales of hay to his daughter's farm. And his blood pressure medication, his doctor has taken him off of that. His doctor has taken him off of testosterone and 2 other pharmaceuticals. How can multiple things happen for one individual? I'll say it again. Increase the mitochondria. The body rights itself and begins to work the way it used to work. So very common for us to have people trying to address one issue and have a second issue they weren't trying, like their eyesight will improve. And they didn't expect that. Well, eyes are full of mitochondria. Give them
Wow.
more, they start to work incredibly well. Or were you able to get that?
Yes, let me see if I can make it play now. Um, I think I have, well, I might have to upload it too.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'll share another
Okay, yeah.
testimonial. And these are all on our website. Bill Critchfield is in Nampa, Idaho. Bill had an issue with severe, painful varicose veins. We have an oil you take internally, and we have a gel, topical cream for your skin from head to toe, anything that disturbs your skin. Well, his wasn't a scratch, a scrape, a cut, a bump, a mole. His was painful varicose veins that he no longer has now. That's a pretty major thing. But also for Bill, again, now his took 3 months, but he had an issue with his ears, with hearing, and was using the cream as instructed by one of our medical folks and tapping behind his right ear. After 3 months, he heard as he says it, Christmas paper wrinkling, crackling in my ear. And all of a sudden, I'm hearing great, but that's not all. My balance came back. I don't have to use my walker anymore. My balance is back. Well, again, multiple things happen. And that's what was alluded to in the book. And that's what we've found already with this product when you turn up the mitochondria. And it becomes the base for anything else we're doing. As story after story after story of people coming off of their pharmaceuticals is shared, it's not a light switch. It's a graduated process. For instance, Ron's doctor reduces the dosage that he's taking of his blood pressure medication, reduced it twice until he finally said, you don't need it anymore. Well, what's happening? Well, XDS, in effect, makes water wetter. Anything else you take, the body's able to use more of it because of the XDS technology. So one of the first things we see doctors reducing medications because it's more of it's getting used by the body because of XDS. And then finally, the body rights itself, begins to work, and they don't need it at all anymore. It's a pretty amazing thing. And nothing's more gratifying than the testimonials where we hear numbers from the patients, folks sharing this used to be my number, then it was this, now it's this. My vision went from 20/60 to 20/20. I don't need the shots. It's just amazing, amazing things. How are you doing on that
I
audio?
think I finally got it. It's uploading right now, and it should only take a minute to upload because it's short. So it's processing. I'm sorry, this takes longer than it should, but that's
I think that's
great
perfectly
information
okay.
there.
And again, let me say one more thing. Dr. Bevan has created the internal product, Restore, with 44 ingredients and XDS. He's also created, as I mentioned, Rejuvenate. That's the skin cream from head to toe. Well, we've got 3 products. Dr. Bevan realizes animals are some of the most important members of our family. Pet parents are not left out. Animals can't take Restore. It's got citrus oils and some other things that are just not good for animals. But he's created Pet Life. Look, if you've got a dog that can't seem to move like it used to, maybe arthritic, certainly isn't running up and down the stairs, has become lethargic. If you've got a cat that's got bald spots and is hacking up fur balls and has dander, think about this. Our pets are closer to all the bad things in our environment, the chemicals in our rugs, the things we put on the lawn, and they have their own allergies. When you see the pollen flying around, it can affect a pet the same way it affects humans. But they just can't tell us about it. We know when they're suffering. And the thing I love about the pet product, give it to your dog, bring him back to puppy stage, running, playing fetch, going for walks. Same thing with a cat. They're kittens. The thing is this, there's no placebo effect with a pet. It's not an issue. I hate it when I hear, these stories of people, well, gee, I think I kind of feel better. That's not what these products are like. You know, and with a pet, it's so great. There's no placebo effect. Either they're running around and playing, and we've got videos of puppies dragging their back legs, and 2 weeks later running like a regular dog. That you know
Wow.
it's working. You know it's working. When you see that with pets, well, guess what? The people product works the same way. And it's just astounding when people get energy back. Imagine being able to live life on your terms, not sitting on the couch, not needing to take continual breaks. Imagine no more brain fog. That's what we're talking about here. And it's true for the pets, it's true for people. And many, many times we're surprised at how fast people see changes. Did you get that video?
Yes.
That audio?
Yes.
Go
It's
ahead.
audio. Yeah. Let's see if it'll play for us. It should play right now.
What we will also do, and here's the big one, and it is the biggest one, is we reset your mitochondria. We recycle the ones that are damaged, and we turn up the energy in the ones that are functional. And once we turn up that energy, then your body at the very basic level has enough energy in order to carry out the self-repair farther, in order to get rid of those free radicals, in order to carry out all the procedures inside the cell that protect it from all of those outside toxins, heavy metals and organic compounds and even radiation of various types, things that are not natural for you. So if we focus first on mitochondria, repair and turning up energy, then what starts happening is the DNA that your mitochondria produces to carry out mitochondrial energy production is now not damaged. Now those processes to create energy inside your cell get turned up, and then you can function better.
Okay.
That's it in a nutshell.
It looks like there's more time. Is there more said? Because it looks like there's more.
That's all.
Oh, okay. Alrighty then. Well, obviously people are having very good results. We have a lot of testimonials on the website, and let me put up where is it? Mitochondria, MoreMito. Yeah, there's my link, moremito.com/Gail of Gaia. I use this product on a regular basis. I don't even, I do this in order to be able to have the product. Let me put it that way. That's how important the product is to me. I don't take any of the monetary gain. I rather have the product, and that's how much I like this product, because I use it on my hair and I take it internally as well. And my son uses it on, well, I use it on my face and my hair, and he uses it on his face, and it clears his face up, and he loves it. And so it's a very beneficial product, and I do feel more energized since I started taking it, and I've been taking it for quite a while now. And I would encourage you, if you haven't tried it, to try it. I love it.
That's a great point. Let me mention, Gail, that look, we've got a 30-day empty bottle, no question asked, money back guarantee. Not everybody. We've got about a 95%, which is huge compared to the industry average of 70% reaction to a product. We've got about 95% of the folks just experiencing tremendous things and reordering. And the other thing is, when you go to Gail's site, we've built a couple of special ways. You can buy just the bottle of Restore, that's the oil internally that increases the mitochondria. You can buy just a jar of Rejuvenate, that's the cream that relieves discomfort and pain, helps with circulation. Use it all over your body, including on your eyes and your head, on your eyelids. But if you buy one of each, and you'll see that, we call it a bundle. A bottle of Restore is $100 for a month. We have not raised that price in 3 years, even though we've seen a 40% increase in our ingredient cost. A jar of Rejuvenate, 4 ounces, the size of the old Pond's cold cream, is $50. If you buy one of each, we put a second jar of cream in that package, $50 worth of free product. And look at the bundles. You can get buy one oil, one cream, get a free $50 pet product. So we've got a number of ways to hold the cost down. And we ship within 24 hours. Now we've tightened our shipping. We'll ship within 24 hours of receiving your order, and you're going to know. And if it doesn't work, doggone it, here's your money back. If it does work, which it almost always does, your life is going to change. That's it, Gail.
Yep. I would have to say from and this is my own experience, and I am in the older category. So I found that if I took a little more than a teaspoon, it was a more noticeable energy difference. I don't know, it affected me more. So if somebody isn't experiencing something, you might want to increase it a little bit and see if that makes a difference, because it did for me. And I'm glad I did that. And then there's the other aspect. You can actually mix a little bit of the Restore and the Rejuvenate together and get a double whammy that way. But it soaks in so beautifully. It's just, you know how some stuff it's greasy or it doesn't go into your skin. This stuff just soaks right in, and it works really well. So thank you, Dale. Is there anything else we need to cover about that?
I don't think so. Listen, everybody, we're here to help you. We're here to get you more information. You're getting the best we've got through Gail. She's just phenomenal. We also do free phone calls on Saturdays and Monday nights. And it's not the normal kind of phone call. We don't talk about the business much, if at all. We talk to people. We talk about conditions and issues and experiences they're having. We've got our nutritional experts on those calls to answer questions. So Saturdays, and Gail will send this out. If you tell her you'd like an email with the details, she'll get it to you. Saturdays are at noon Eastern. Monday nights, except for tomorrow night because it's such a major holiday, but Monday nights happen at 9 o'clock Eastern. And you're free to tune in. There's no charge to be on those phone calls. And just listen in for the data or ask a question. And Gail, I think that's it. You have covered everything, as you always do, very complete and concise.
Thank you, Dale. And I'm going to put up here's the email that if you want more information, but in the subject line, put all caps MoreMito, so I know and I see it. I get a lot of emails, so it'll stand out if you do that, what I asked there about the all caps and say MoreMito. But anyway, thank you for listening. I hope you take the time and take a look at that Brain Energy book. I may have that Dr. Palmer on. And I would just encourage you to try this. I love it. I use it all the time. And you can always become an ambassador, or I don't remember if that's what you call it or not, but a lot of these different companies, they have, programs where you can become a member or however, and then you can get the product. You can get your friends and so on to try it, and then you can practically get the product paid for by doing so. So that's something to look into as well. And I thank you very much, Dale, for coming on the show. And thank you everyone for watching. And we'll see you again soon in the not too distant future. Take care. Have a wonderful Memorial weekend.
Thank you, Gail. Thank you, everyone.
We have found our way. It's It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers, stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now. Don't look back now. Rise up, stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers, fighting our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the moment. Hold on tight and don't let go of all your hopes and dreams that light the way. We control our fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors.